Ship Book and I'm back with another video. So this is the first video that I am actually shooting postpartum. So the videos that I've put up over the last couple weeks are videos that I actually filmed prior to me having the baby. Now this is me filming live, which is very, very strange. I have to get back into the swing of things because I haven't physically sat down and filmed in about 2 weeks. As you can see, this is a different location. I am filming at my parents' house because like I said, I am transitioning. I'll be back in my normal location in a few weeks. So as the title of this video states, I have some ARCs that I want to show you. These are ARCs that I've received over the past few months. Some of these books have already come out. Some of these books are not slated to come out until next month. Some of these books are actually not supposed to come out until February of next year. I think I have one this February of next year. And then some of these are finished copies. So I am going to go through some of these. I have read some of these. Some of these I have not read. Most of them I have not read. So clearly I have some ARCs that I need to work on. I'm going to quickly go through these. I don't want it to be too long, and just for editing purposes, but let's go ahead and jump in. So the first 4 books I received from Penguin Teen, so thank you to Penguin Teen for these 4 books. I'm sure that a lot of you have already seen these 4 books because they have been up all over BookTube. A lot of people have received them. It's a set of 4 books that a lot of us were offered for review, and I had some confusion with where my books were going, so I'm a little bit late on this train. Eventually I did get all of the books, but it was some address conflict with moving, a whole bunch of stuff. So we're going to go ahead and go through. The first 2 have already come out, so I need to read those, and then 2 of them don't come out until this month. So the first book that I have here is The Stars and the Blackness Between Them by Junauda Petrus, and this is a book about 2 black females, one from Trinidad, one from Minneapolis. The young lady from Trinidad is sent to Minneapolis because her mother catches her with her girlfriend, who happens to be the pastor's daughter. And when she gets to Minneapolis, she meets Mabel, the girl from Trinidad. Her name is Audrey. She meets Mabel, and Mabel instantaneously falls for her and kind of tries to coach and guide her into being out and a black girl in America, which is never easy. So I've heard excellent things about this one. I'm looking forward to reading it. As I said, this came out September, so last month. The next one that I have here is obviously Stories from My Timeline by Akilah Hughes, and this is based on a few essays that she writes from where she grew up and eventually making it to spelling bee, graduating at 15, and then moving to New York City. So I didn't realize that she had so much going on. She's a YouTuber, she is a comedian, and a writer. So I have not read a lot of nonfiction yet this month. Not this month, this year. So this will definitely help me in that category. The next 2 I have are both fantasy books, which it's always great to see black fantasy writers. And the first one is War Girls by Tochi Onibuchi, and this is the same author of Beast Made of Night, which I did not read but was interested in reading. And this one is a science fiction book that takes place in war-torn Nigeria, and it's about 2 sisters who want more than the political violence and unrest that's going on in their country. This is a chunker of a book. I think I've seen people talk about it, I've seen people haul it, and I did not realize how thick it was. This book is close to 450 pages, so this one may take me a little bit of time, but I think that this cover is absolutely astounding. It's a beautiful cover. The next book that I have here is A River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy, which is one that I was definitely looking forward to, and this is about 2 sisters again, and it's about assassins and royalty and the 2 of them competing for the throne. So I think that this one will be a fun one to look into. Like I said, this is one that I was definitely anticipating, and this one also comes out sometime this month. The next book that I got is actually a finished copy, and it's a republished book for Looking for Alaska by John Green. I got this from Penguin Teen. Yeah, I got this from Penguin Teen in promotion for Looking for Alaska coming out on Hulu, and I actually loved Looking for Alaska. This was one of the John Green books that actually ended up being one of my favorites, and I haven't read it in a while, so I probably will end up doing a reread soon. And I actually want to do a reread before I watch the Hulu television show, just so I can compare the two. I like adaptations. I don't think everything needs to be adapted, but I do like adaptations, so this will be fun to read again. It's a short book, not that long at all. I think it barely comes in, yeah, it barely comes in at 200 pages. So if you haven't read this John Green book, definitely give it a chance and check out the Hulu TV show. This next book is a book that I got from Diversion Books, so thank you to Diversion Books. And this is The Skeleton Stuffs a Stocking by Lee Perry. This is the 6th book in a family skeleton mystery. This is a book that I'm currently reading, and it is a cozy mystery. It is the like I said, it's the 6th in series, but you don't necessarily have to read it in order, because I jumped right into this and had not read any of the previous books, and I'm fully enjoying it. And what makes this cozy mystery so interesting is that one of the main characters is actually a skeleton, and it is a story of a professor and how she constantly gets involved in, you know, investigating murders, kind of like the typical cozy mystery storyline. And they find a bone, the dog finds a bone somewhere around their house, not inside the house, but within the same area, vicinity, neighborhood of their house. And they think that it belongs to the skeleton, whose name is Sid, and it doesn't belong to him. It actually belongs to a human. And then they go and they start investigating it. I think it's such an interesting plot line to have a skeleton as a main character, like full-blown functioning, talks to people, sits at the dinner table, and I find that really intriguing. So this was cool to read around this time for October, and then as well as the holiday season coming up. I think I have about maybe 50 pages of this book left, and I will end up doing a full written review for Diversion Books. So like I said, thank you to them for sending it to me, because I really am enjoying this one. The next one that I have is Hurricanes, which is Rick Ross's memoir. I've talked about this a little bit, so I'm not going to talk about it again, but this one is one that I received from work. We mostly get adult arcs, and our collection development team actually sends out a message on this website that we use asking, like, if you want to read this advanced reader copy, let us know, we'll send it to you. And then we end up usually like passing it around and stuff. So I haven't gotten to this one yet. I was going to read this one in September, but with me having the baby in September, of course, I didn't get to it. So hopefully this month I'll be able to pick it up and read it, since this one already came out in September. And I didn't say for the Skeleton Stuffs a Stocking, but that one comes out this month. The next one that I have, clearly I have already read, and this is Slay by Brittany Morris. This one came out last month, and this is kind of like a science, I wouldn't even say science fiction, it's contemporary. It just has gaming elements to it, but it doesn't delve heavily into the virtual reality of the gaming. But this is about a young girl by the name of Kiara. I'm gonna say Kiara because it would be A if it was Kiara. So Kiara actually created this game called Slay, and it's a place for black gamers to meet with each other in a safe space. And she does this in secret. Her parents don't know, her friends don't know, and she has this whole entire world that she's created, and everything is going smoothly until someone ends up dead as a result of Slay. And then the media has kind of like a whole entire circus with why this game is so negative, how it's racist, how it's exclusionist, and she has to decide whether she wants to speak up or whether she wants to defend the game. This was an amazing book. I ended up giving it 4.5 out of 5 stars. It is one of the first books that I've read in quite a while where I literally was able to relate to most of pretty much everything that the characters were saying. And I will get into that because I plan on doing a full book talk on here about this one. I'll get into that later, but this is one that definitely resonated with me personally, which is why I think I rated it so high, because there were some things about it that typically for me I think would have dropped the star rating down, but because it was just so intriguing and fascinating and well written and so relatable for me as a black woman. I had to give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. So as you can see, this is one that I definitely annotated, and like I said, I'll be doing a full talk about it. I have already done a full written review, so if you're interested in that full written review, I'll link it down below in the description box. The next 2 books that I have are children's graphic novels that were sent to me by DC Comics. They have an imprint called DC Zoom, so thank you to them for sending me these books. And then I completely forgot about Slay. Slay was sent to me by Simon and Schuster, so thank you to Simon and Schuster for this. DC Zoom sent me these 2 books. The first one being The Secret Spiral of Swamp Kid by Kirk Scroggs, which I have already read and done a full written review. And then they just sent me a couple days ago Black Canary Ignite. Then this one's by Meg Cabot and illustrated by Kara McGee. They are creating more accessible comics for middle grade / children's readers, and they've been sending me copies of books that they have already developed to review for them. So this was one that I actually requested, and or they reached out to me and asked me if I was interested in this one, and I told them yes. And I have like I said, I have a full written review on this one, so I'll link that down in the description box. And then they sent me this one unsolicited, so I have to read this one and have a review up by the end of this month, because this comes out on October 29th. The Secret Spiral of Swamp Kid has already come out, if I'm not mistaken, so if you're interested in that one, definitely check out my review. And this one is about Black Canary. This one, I don't even want to say what this one is about because it's kind of a spoiler, so if you're interested, like I said, just check out the review down below. The next one I have here is Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, Season of the Witch, and this is a prequel novel by Sarah Reese Brennan. I didn't request this one. I wasn't sent this one by a publisher. I think I won this one in a giveaway, and I don't even remember entering the giveaway. I just ended up getting it. So I am gonna pick this up. I'm a huge fan of Sabrina. I've seen the animated series and the live action. I haven't seen the one on Netflix, which I heard is a tad bit darker, but I am interested in checking it out. But I think I may read this first and then check out the Netflix series. The next one I have that I have talked about that was on my September TBR is The Good Luck Girls by Charlotte Nicole Davis. This one I was supposed to read for my September TBR. I didn't read it, unfortunately. So what I'm going to end up doing is hopefully reading it this month. I don't know, fingers crossed, hopefully I do get to it. But this one was sent to me by Teen for their promotional purposes, and this comes out this month as well, or if it has already come out. I think it's already come out. So this is another one that I need to get to and read. I think the last time I talked about this, I did say that this is it's been marketed as a Westworld meets Handmaid's Tale type of scenario, so this one should be good as well. The next one that I have, I also won in a giveaway, and it was sent to me by a group of authors, and this one was actually signed for me. I think you can see it now. Yeah. So this is Grave Maidens by Kelly Kuhn. This comes out December of this year, and this is about a girl named Kamani who wants to be a healer like her father. Her sister gets chosen for the selection process, and when her sister gets chosen for the selection process, she realizes that it's actually more so like a death sentence and a death trap. So what she wants to do is save her sister. I've heard good things and not so good things about this one, but I'll be interested in seeing what happens. I think it's going to be a duology. Most of the ratings I've been seeing have been like in between 3 to 4 stars, saying that it could be just any generic YA fantasy, but I will see myself if that's true or not. The last one that I have here is The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abby Duray. And this one is the one that comes out February 25th of next year. I was reached out to by Penguin, and they asked me if I would like a copy of this. I told them yes. They sent me the book and this tote, which I think is absolutely beautiful. This is a debut novel about a 14-year-old Nigerian girl who believes that education is her way out, but her father wants to sell her to or he does sell her to a local man for her to bear a son, to be an heir. So she runs away, and the only option that she has is to become a servant to a wealthy family. So we get that dynamic. And when I read part of it from the author, what she was talking about, she was saying that she grew up in a household where they had girls that were servants because they came from lower class areas, and this was their only way of making anything for themselves. So I just thought that this is probably going to be powerful because it's own voices, and I think it's going to be an interesting perspective to see what happens to this young lady. This is what I want to get to soon, probably not this month, but probably within the next couple of months, just to get ahead of the game since this does not come out until February. Alright y'all, so that's it. Those are the arcs that I have currently received in the past couple of months. I hope you guys enjoy. As you can hear Tiny Tot in the background. As always, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content from me, click the subscribe button. If you're interested in following me on social media, all the links will be down in the description box below. As always, I hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon. Bye.